Now we're going to take a look at doing interaction now with our programs. When we get some of this preliminary stuff out of the way, we can start doing more interesting things. So let's start a new application, and we're just going to call this one input. So Java has libraries, and we can use the built-in ones. We can even import ones that people give us. So in here, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Java to import, and you have to know where to look. So I'll be able to tell you most of the places we're going to look, but for example, the one I want is in Java, and it's in utilities, so util, and it's called a scanner. So in order to do input, this is the class that we're going to work with here, which is the scanner. And down here, before I can work with the scanner, I need to actually make one. So a scanner looks like this. I say to Java, hey Java, I'm going to make a scanner. Let's call it input. It's a variable name. It can be anything you want. I could call it keyboard. I could call it anything I like. Just that's how I'm going to have to refer to it in my program. And you tell Java it's a new scanner. And when it makes this scanner for you, you have to tell Java where to look for your input. So for us, we're going to go back to the system and look in its input stream. In this case, that's going to make the keyboard. But it's possible that we scan other things like files and network traffic, all kinds of stuff. So it's a versatile class, but we're just using it for keyboard right now. So with the input now, I can start to ask for things like, for example, I can go system.out.println. What is your name? Now, the thing that I'm going to get back is called a string. A string is basically a name for a sequence of characters. So the string, I'm going to give it a good name, and it's going to be input dot, and you're going to see what we want are the get methods. We're going to go get, or sorry, the next methods. And you can see Java shortlists it at the top here. These are the ones that return strings. We just want the next line. Next would be separated with different delimitors. It doesn't always come back with a new line. So we're going to go to next line. And what that means is as soon as you hit the enter key, that keyboard will send the data back into name. So I'll give you a little message. I can say, hello, name. It's nice to meet you. So if I run this program, what's going to happen now is it's going to wait here. One annoying thing, by the way, the cursor stays in the code window. You actually have to click in it to get it to focus there. So what's your name? I'll say my name is Cam. Hello Cam, it's nice to meet you. So if I run it again, like Java doesn't know ahead of time, what's your name? Bob. Hello Bob, it's nice to meet you. So now when someone gives me data, I can start to manipulate it or work on it. I can also do things like, let's repeat this a different question here. I'll say, how old are you? So usually people answer as an integer, right? You don't say I am 17.36 years old. Most people say that their age is a whole number, right? So that's what we're going to ask the scanner for. So I'm going to say input, can you get me? And you see that one right there? It says next integer. That's the one that we're going to use. And I'll say something cheesy like, wow, you look great for... So now when I run my program, what's your name? Joe. How old are you? Let's say 100. Wow, you look great for 100. So this is how we can start manipulating programs to do more than just spit stuff out for us. It also means that some of those calculations we did before, we can make it so that instead of having to give the numbers before we run the program, we can get them in at runtime and do those conversion programs, volume, area, that kind of stuff. So the first program that we're going to make is actually going to be, we're going to call it the wallet program. So I'm just going to wipe all that out now that you've had a chance to see what the scanner does. And what I'm going to do is you tell me the coins you have in your pocket, and I'll add it all up and tell you the total. So I guess I can... go with this. The name is going to be a string, so I go input dot next line, and I'm now going to say how many toonies do you have? And I'm going to repeat this for a lot of different things. So let's, I'm going to copy and paste a few times just to help speed it up. How many loonies do you have? Then after loonies we'd have quarters and dimes, nickels, and then pennies. So of course I have to come up with a good way of actually keeping track. So I'm going to use integers here, and I'm going to actually use a name like toonies. I should probably have a W there. I think it's toonies, but anyways, toonies is going to be go to the keyboard and ask for it. And we're going to do this again for each of the other denominations. So I'll paste them in. And you might have had this error already, but the reason I'm getting this red line is it's already been defined once. You can reuse the value, but you can't redeclare it to Java, because every time you give it a name, remember, it's going to find memory and it's going to keep track of it for you there. So this is using the same piece of memory to do it. That's okay, but if you try and do this, then Java says I can't go get new memory for you that's also called toonies because you're already using that variable up here. So it's going to be loonies. That was the name of this this one, and then this will be quarters. This one will be quarters. Then we're on dimes, and this one here was nickels, and this one here was pennies. So it doesn't look like English very much in this program, right? But you can see that having good names helps me keep track of what I'm talking about. Like this variable refers to the number of toonies. So now all I'm going to do is print out how much money you have in your wallet. So to do that, it's going to be a double, right? Because you might have like $10.25. So double, let's call it total, and I'm going to do the math for this now. 2 times the number of toonies plus the number of loonies, plus 0.25 times the number of quarters, plus 0.1 times the number of dimes, plus 0.05 times the number of nickels, plus 0.01 times however many pennies you have. And of course I spelled toonies wrong again. So now all I'm going to do is say to Joe, system.out.println, or I guess whoever their name is, name you have, and I'll put the total in. So if I run this program just to show you what's going to happen, what's your name? Bob. How many toonies do you have? Let's say 3 toonies. How many loonies? 1. 6 quarters, let's say 3 dimes, and 8 nickels, and 145 pennies. So if you added it all up, Bob, you have $10.65. And I guess you could even put like in your wallet. So there's a program now that will work for anyone's wallet, and we could only do it if we started using variables and the keyboard input. So your job now is to make a coffee shop, or it doesn't have to be a coffee shop, you can sell whatever you like. But what I want you to do is make a menu. So you're going to start by printing out the menu, like welcome to McDonald's, and then show the menu by printing it on the screen. And you'll ask, how many Big Macs would you like? How many Pepsis would you like? Tally it all up and use the prices that are in your menu to give them a total. And I also want you to give them a subtotal, so you'll say your subtotal is $10. After taxes, it's $1.12, so your total is $11.12. So here's an example of what the output would look like in your final program. So this is Joe's Java joint, and they sell coffee, espressos, lattes, and tea. So you ask from the menu how many they want, and subtotal, tax total, and some sort of nice message. Okay, so you should each have your own different interactive store, and that's what I'll be collecting from your interactive programming with the keyboard. Now, to make sure you're in the habit of doing this, I'm also going to expect that you put comments in your code. So like here, how I've put keyboard input. Here I'll put something like, maybe I'll describe what this program is. This program adds up the coins in your wallet. And down here, I can put something like, in Canada, a toonie is worth $2 and a loonie $1. Not everybody uses that term, but I want to see comments in your code. So right now they might seem ridiculous because you're not really saying too much that's important to remember, but you need to be in this habit as we go on in your programs. So I need to see codes with // and codes that use the */ the multi-line comments.